What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, and we bring you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream over on Twitch daily at This Is Aftersound is the username. So come by, say hello. We do giveaways every stream, and we do giveaways every week here on the channel. So all you have to do is make sure to leave your in-game username in the comments section, and you will be entered in to win. It's not a raffle, at least not yet. Maybe maybe at some point it'll be a raffle. Right now, I just pick my favorite comments. So leave something thoughtful. Don't just ask for cards or DEC, because what I really want is just to build a solid community here, and we've done a fantastic job ever since I started posting videos maybe a month or so ago. So today's focus is on liquidity pools again, and this was spurred by one of the comments that I got saying that, while liquidity pools aren't necessarily the best thing, or sorry, while there are risks associated with liquidity pools, it helps the team. And I appreciate that perspective because I made a video a while back on why I don't, I'm not all in on liquidity pools, even though you can kind of double your DEC rewards in them. And so I wanted to go a little bit deeper into what liquidity pools are available, what options are available, and why I do or don't participate in any of them. And you'll see, for the most part, I have very little of my assets in liquidity pools. But again, go check out the impermanent loss video and read up on impermanent loss wherever you can find information on it, all over Google. It's a very real risk, and the main issue, which I'll get into, is the fact that it happens when coins go the opposite direction, right? Which is what I very much expect to happen with SPS and DEC. So let's go ahead to pools, and I'm going to show you here. So these are my positions right now, or actually I just liquidated one, but right now I have a Hive, right? Swap.hive and DEC pool, right? And so I have roughly the equivalent in both. And what's nice is, okay, the first reward that I get is the double or the 2x airdrop reward for having DEC in here. But also on top of that is I get this B token reward, and I got 0.011 of it every single day, which is less than a penny, right? But I'm getting $0.008 of it every single day, or every 24 hours, right? So there's like an added benefit there, and I wanted to call it out. And I'm not sure if all of the positions have that, and I don't know if there's a way to see. All right, so it doesn't show here what your potential rewards would be. So there might be a better spot for that. Let's see if it's under Manage Rewards. Let's see, swap.hive, reward token. All right, never mind. This is outside of the scope of this video. So if you were interested in adding liquidity, right, what are the tokens associated with DEC, or with Splinterlands? So I'm going to look at DEC specifically. Right now, your options are Hive and DEC. That's the one that you saw me doing. There's B and DEC. DEC and SPS, DEC and SUFB, and Pizza and DEC. All right, so I'm going to rule B, SUFB, and Pizza out completely, right? Because what does a liquidity pool require? It requires that you own equal value in both tokens, and then you submit it in, right? So if I wanted to put $10 of DEC in, I would also need to put $10 of Pizza in, or $10 of SUFB. I don't know anything about these tokens, and so I would not want to put any money into that just because, I haven't done my research. I'm not interested in those tokens. So really, for me, if I was just within the scope of this game, I'd only be interested in Hive DEC and SPS and DEC, right? Now, here's the thing. What's the reason, or why don't I put it in? Well, with impermanent loss, and again, go check out the video because I don't want to dig into it too much here. But with impermanent loss, the biggest risk comes from when you expect, not when you expect, but when coins diverge in price, right? It's fine if the coins are of equal value, or are both increasing or both decreasing, because then your ratio of owning them is still the same if you ever needed to liquidate your position, right? But the fact that the options you have here are DEC and Hive, or DEC and SPS, means that in the long run, I expect SPS to go up. In the long run, I would expect Hive to go up. You know, it's its own blockchain and it's growing. And obviously, the success of Splinterlands has, I'm sure, put a lot more eyeballs on it. I mean, I'm using it now when I never was before. So I would expect those two tokens to go up in the long run and DEC to go down back to its peg. So there is that immediate risk there, or at least high level of risk that I'm well aware of, right? Just because of my expectations of the tokenomics behind each of these coins. So that's why I don't use them. Now I did put some in, and I've had this in even before I got that comment, right? I wanted to just play around. This is more so an experiment for me to just mess around with this. And also, I mean, it is good to support. It's not supporting, I mean, it's supporting the team, but more so it's supporting the ecosystem, right? When you put liquidity in, you get these rewards, and then they're compounding that with the airdrop. But you get these rewards as a way to say, like, thank you for providing liquidity for people who want to trade, right? Usually the only rewards you get are from the decentralized exchanges, so tribal decks in this case. Now, there are some other options here which I have not explored, but I'm curious to dig into a little bit. Now, if we stay away from DEC, there are, and just look at SPS, there are a bunch of other options. And one thing I didn't even realize is there is a voucher SPS liquidity pool. So I haven't tested this yet. I'm actually curious and might just give it a shot just to see, because there is a liquidity pool that exists now. So let's see. Can I try? Oh, if I want to sell. So if I want to sell one voucher. Okay. So this is essentially just using, so you don't have to use Hive Engine anymore. And that kind of like system that they have. Right now, it looks like there is a liquidity pool provided for these vouchers, and you can see at the bottom, the prices are 31.33 SPS per voucher, or vice versa, 0.031 vouchers per SPS. So this is interesting. Now, what's the benefit here? I don't know if there are rewards associated, but you're definitely not getting rewards in game. And at this point, I wouldn't actually engage or use anyone that requires SPS, mainly because that means I'm not staking that SPS. I'm putting it into the liquidity pool. And why would I ever not want to have SPS that I'm not staking or have liquid in order to sell if I wanted to trade, right? Which I'm not. I'm not trading SPS. All of my SPS is actually staked right now. But when you put into a liquidity pool, there's that risk that you may not be able to pull out all the value right away. So there's just, if I'm locking it up in one place or another, I would rather lock it up in the game, because I'm getting that 58% APR. I don't believe that the rewards would be as high here in tribal decks. And for the time being, while this pre-sale and voucher system is going on, I'm getting airdrop vouchers. So that's why I'm not doing any of the SPS liquidity pools. The DEC one, I might mess around with that. I actually might try the voucher SPS, not as a liquidity pool, but just as a swap. But yeah, I mean, here, the only reason I have it in swap, in Hive and DEC is because at a certain, I was just testing it out, and I had just bought my first land plot. So I had everything in Hive at that point. And so what I wanted to do, since I had all this Hive left over from buying the land plot, was swap out half of my Hive for DEC and then put it into the liquidity pool and just leave it there, right? Just, as I've said, I've sold off of most of the rest of my DEC position. This is there to support the ecosystem, and just, airdrop is nice. It's not going to be anything super game changing, but it's nice to have. And I feel good about supporting the ecosystem and having something there and just trying something new, right? So that's my mindset on liquidity pools. I'm not trying to discourage anybody. It's just, I'm giving you my reasons on why I do or don't. And obviously you can see most of the time I don't, just because I'm seeing better opportunities elsewhere. Now, I don't want to stop anyone from doing it. And if anything, I think that argument to help the ecosystem is a brilliant one. And as you may have heard in the AMA, there was a little, I'll call it FUD, kind of spreading around, because people were saying, oh, Agrod said he sold some of his SPS. Well, he said he sold some in order to create liquidity pools and provide liquidity into them, right? So, like I said, in order to have a B DEC, or actually not. That's a bad example. But if Agrid was looking at this in order to have or support a SPS BNB or SPS Ethereum, SPS Bitcoin liquidity pool, well, you'd either need to buy the equivalent amount of Bitcoin that you own of SPS, or you could just sell half that SPS, put it into Bitcoin, and then provide that as liquidity, right? So that when he said he's selling, he said he was doing that to support the ecosystem and to support the different liquidity pools that exist around this ecosystem, right? So there are also liquidity pools over on, I believe, on PancakeSwap, and I briefly looked at it in another video, but for most of the people here, I think the focus is just on the game and staying within the game. You'll need to be very familiar with, DeFi protocols, decentralized finance protocols, and have your own private wallet in order to participate in those. So that I feel like is just outside the scope of this video. What I like about the Hive blockchain is you create a Splinterlands account, and then that means that you have a Hive account, and that means you have a TribalDex account and anything else that's associated or on the Hive blockchain. So I really appreciate that. It makes it super easy to send stuff around. And the fact that there are 0 fees for sending anything, which is not the case in on other blockchains, is really nice. So that's all I have for you guys today. I just kind of wanted to go through liquidity pools in a little bit more depth and kind of respond to why I do and don't use them, or when I would use them. Now, things may change in the future, and I might try to take advantage if there are rewards or other things that pop up, or maybe there might be something that's off of the Hive blockchain. Who knows? But until then, this is kind of where my position is. I have some liquidity in there. It's not much, but it's just providing something. It's getting me some airdrops. But in the long haul, I wouldn't want to be putting a large amount of my money into the liquidity pools. I wouldn't want to be tying up SPS and DEC. Like I said, I don't want to be holding a ton of DEC. So, and the pairings, I told you why. So that is it, hopefully in a very large nutshell. Hopefully that was helpful to you. If you guys are finding value in this content, please consider liking and subscribing. It's a free and easy way to support the channel. Otherwise, I will see you around the game, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good one.